Hello from the American Horse Council. If you're watching this, that means you're ready to learn about CAFO regulations and the implications for horse operations across the country. So what is a CAFO? CAFO stands for Concentrated Animal Feeding Operation. CAFOs are any livestock operation, including horses, that stable or confine livestock on a property in an area where no vegetation grows for 45 days or more during a 12-month period. CAFO rules were established under the Clean Water Act, and typically operations are targeted for permitting based on the proximity of water bodies that fall under the definition of waters of the United States. The closer you are to an area defined under WOTUS, the more likely your operation will be to seek CAFO permitting. Being permitted as a CAFO may require intensive wastewater management, manure management, and nutrient management planning and remediation. It's important to know that CAFOs and the associated regulations are defined at the federal level, but enforced at the state level. States have the discretion to permit CAFOs at will. They may also make stricter permitting rules relating to CAFOs. If you think your operation may fall under CAFO rules, you should check with your state agencies for compliance specifics. When applying for permitting, CAFOs are designated as large, medium, or small, depending on how many animals they house. For horse-specific CAFOs, a large CAFO is any operation that has 500 or more horses. A small CAFO has less than 150 horses, and a medium CAFO has between 150 and 500 horses. In the United States, about 81 facilities are regulated as horse CAFOs. Historically, CAFO permitting was meant to regulate food and fiber production livestock. While horses are livestock, they no longer fall into typical food or fiber categories. Because of this ambiguity, state regulators inconsistently apply permitting requirements, and it can be difficult for an operation to anticipate if they will need to seek CAFO permitting. Operations that may qualify include, but are not limited to, boarding barns, lesson and training barns, horse show facilities, racetracks, fairgrounds, breeding farms, and anything in between. Within CAFO regulatory language, horses are often lumped into educational sections on manure management and the number of allowed animals with sheep and poultry. Their nutrient content is quite similar, but the common husbandry practices are completely different. When horses are stabled in a facility, they are constantly moving in and out of stalls to exercise areas, competition areas, or turnout space, and the persistence of confinement differs from that intended in CAFO regulations. Horses are indeed livestock, but are not used for consumption or processing. Sheep and dairy cows and beef cattle are confined in feedlots in CAFO operations. Allowances should be made for common differences in husbandry practices between livestock. Horses at most regulated CAFO operations are typically stabled in a manner that includes stall cleanings and manure removal multiple times a day. There is potential for horse-specific exemptions in CAFO permitting as demonstrated by the Oklahoma Racing Commission. The Oklahoma Racing Commission was able to codify specific language that states, "The term animal feeding operation shall not include a racetrack licensed by the Oklahoma Horse Racing Commission." This language exempts racetracks from CAFO permitting within Oklahoma. Implementing this nationwide could correlate with other recreational opportunities for horse show facilities, racetracks, and more. Building upcoming and current facilities that exceed the standards of CAFO permits, like access to grass pastures during the growing season, would also improve upon the exemption process. The American Horse Council is following the impacts of CAFO regulations on equine operations nationwide. Our mission is to advocate for appropriate guidelines for horse operations and support our members in learning about their compliance needs. Join us for more information at horsecouncil.org.